Bold takes.
If they don't make it to the finals, then this might be one of the biggest L's in NBA history.
Hot topics.
He literally won a championship. Were you guys not watching the last 6 years of this guy's career?
The best analysis.
I don't think the team is good enough right now to compete with the real contenders in the West.
This is the Full Court Report. And we're back. Another episode of the Full Court Report. Episode number 2 of this 2026-27 NBA season. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Oh, pretty good.
How about yourself, Jorie?
Good. Had a nice little 4th of July.
Yes, sir.
Hung out. Saw some fireworks. Ate some barbecue. Was grilling, so it's a good time. I feel like the summer always goes like so fast now. You know?
Facts.
Like it's already the 4th of July. Like before you know it, it's gonna get cold again. I hate to see it. But
Praying for no snow.
Gotta get out to the beach.
Yeah.
Before it's too late.
But the sooner the summer ends, the faster the NBA season starts. That's the way I look at it.
That's true.
Yeah.
NFL comes back, NBA comes back. Yeah, got a good point. Because nobody cares about baseball, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good to be back, and we have more news than I think I could have anticipated. I thought last week this was going to be the summer of Giannis Antetokounmpo and everything that the Heat are going to do to build their team and everything, but that's completely taken a backseat to everything that happened this past week. And it's crazy because we saw, 3 of the top players in the league are going to be on different teams next season. And I mean, we could start wherever, but I feel like we got to start with the King, with King James. Because even though I think he's going to be 41, or he is 41, I think he'll be 42 at some point next season, which is insane. And he'll be entering his, I think, 24th NBA season, which is still an NBA record. I think 23 was the record that he set last year. So, but yeah, LeBron James, he announced that he will not be returning to the Lakers for the 2026-27 NBA season. He's an unrestricted free agent, but he just told the team, like, hey, I'm not coming back next year, so you guys can move on without me. The Lakers have already made a bunch of big splashes in free agency. They got Walker Kessler. They got my guy, Sandro Mamukelashvili from Toronto. They got Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton. So they didn't waste any time trying to replace LeBron's impact. But I mean, this is like the biggest fish on the free agent market as it gets. Again, even though LeBron is, not the LeBron of old, it's not like 2010 when he was like deciding, oh, let me go to Miami, and that just broke the whole league. But it's still a massive impact that he'll make wherever he goes. So just figure we could talk about it. I don't know. I mean, Justin, we'll start with you because you obviously already know where you want him to go. Where do you want to see LeBron end up?
All right. So, in terms of his best chance at actually winning a ring, I would say he has a better chance in Cleveland than he does in Miami, because I feel like, from what I've heard, those are the two like top candidates. He has his whole board, him and Rich Paul have their whole, a team board. And I think at this point it's down to like 7 or 8 teams. But from mostly what I've been hearing, it's all Cleveland or Miami. He's going to go back to one of them. Between those two, I would say easily has a better chance in Cleveland. They're just a much deeper team. They have a lot of star power. You put LeBron in their current starting lineup, like that might be one of the greatest starting lineups of all time on paper. But I've also heard about talks of Minnesota and Philly. Uh I wouldn't mind seeing him go to Minnesota. I just don't see LeBron going to a market that is that small. But I would be a very sad man if he went to Philly. That would be a terrible day for Justin. But with this whole, the board that him and Rich Paul have, Rich Paul was on some kind of podcast or whatever it was, and was kind of breaking down their like thought process that they have. And he had said that if the New York Knicks had not won the championship, that LeBron would already be in New York. There would be no board, none of this would even be a decision. He said he would be in New York right now. So I feel like, a lot of people would be like, oh, because of, him even bringing this to light, LeBron's definitely not going to New York. But you never know, man. I mean, it kind of seems like LeBron's been trying to take the back seat for a couple of years now. He brought AD on, at that time, everybody was saying, oh, AD is the best player on that team. But LeBron kept, kind of showing that he's still the guy. And then same thing with Luka, bringing, arguably the best player in the league. He plays 60 games. So I feel like LeBron, been kind of trying to be the number two. Could definitely do that between him and Brunson. Yeah, Toby.
I don't see that happening. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, then why don't you tell me how you feel?
Yeah, what do you expect to happen?
I feel like, I think he has all these teams, on his board or whatever. I think it's between like 2 or 3 teams. I think it's between the Cavs, possibly the Heat, and I think the other team they were talking about was the Warriors, but that one I feel like a little less sure about. I think honestly, he would have the best. I agree with Justin. I think he probably has the best chance if he rejoins the Cavs. I think they can make a playoff push next year. They're obviously not, with LeBron, they're not going to be worse than they were this year. And I think that choice, just in my opinion, it makes the most sense. I think it would be way too weird to see LeBron on Philly or New York Knicks. Like, my mind just can't like compute that. Now I also heard that, I think Justin said this too, that Rich Paul said it was going to be not an early decision. So they're going to think about it. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I think as we get further into, the off season, I think we're going to start to see a little bit more swirlings of LeBron in Cleveland. And then I think the choice is going to eventually be obvious. I think he's going to go back to Cleveland, finish out his career where it started. And if they can win a chip, that's just like the perfect, that's like, you can't write a story better than that.
Yeah. I'm kind of like you, Tobe. I feel like the only thing that really makes sense for LeBron is to go home to Cleveland. I wouldn't be mad if he went somewhere like Minnesota or something. I know you had talked about the market being small, Justin, but I think if you have LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and LeBron James on a team, it doesn't matter where that team is playing. Like, that's box office. They're going to be on TV all the time. Everything they say is probably getting clipped.
Yeah,
But I'd rather want to see him play for the Timberwolves or go home to the Cavs. There were some rumblings, like you guys had mentioned too, about Rich Paul saying they might go to the Warriors or something a little bit ago. I don't think that would be good for LeBron's career right now or his overall legacy. I think after the battles that we've seen him have with Steph Curry, with Draymond, with Clay, with KD even, it would be detrimental to the way that people view him to join up with Steph on that specific Warriors team. I think as much as people like to see Steph and LeBron play together, going back to the Olympics or even just all-star games that we've seen in the past, we know that they work well together, and it'd be cool to see them play together. But specifically on the Warriors franchise, I don't think LeBron can do that, and it would go over well with NBA fans.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I kind of disagree. I kind of feel like it doesn't really matter where he goes. I don't think it's going to affect his legacy that much. I feel like it's going to be a 1-year thing. it's just
can't
going to
go
be a
to the
farewell.
Nah, even if he joins the Knicks, like fresh off the chip, people would talk about that. Even if LeBron's 42, like the expectations for him as a player are so much higher than like what you would expect for like a normal 42, 41-year-old player
I don't
that
That's
know. Did,
he still gets the pressure of having to go somewhere and be like a top 3 option or something. People would think he was ruining the league if he joined the Knicks.
I mean, nobody really talks about Michael Jordan's Wizards days. Like,
Well, the Wizards also weren't like competitive at that point. It was just Michael Jordan, like getting buckets.
I
nah.
suppose. I guess. I mean,
If LeBron came to the Knicks, it would just be a repeat. We would just get another championship. Like,
Yeah, but that's exactly probably why Rich Paul and him and Braun were saying they can't go for that right now. Because it would just look kind of weak if LeBron leaves the Lakers and he's
nah.
like, well, I wanted to go to the Knicks and they're the best team right now. So peace out.
it was weak when he joined the Heat. So, like, I don't care about that.
But the Celtics had already been formed at that point.
I guess. I don't know. At that point doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why he wouldn't want to join. I mean, I guess, you know, in his mind, it might look bad joining the championship team.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like a KD 2.0, but
I will say I don't want Braun to go to the Heat again. Like I think as cool as like Giannis and Bam might be together, I don't think LeBron and the lack of shooters that team has right now are going to be a winning formula. And I'd rather him be on a more competitive team, especially for his last few years in the NBA.
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think the best in terms of winning for LeBron, it's got to be Cleveland. Like they're they're young. They have they have a superstar in Donovan Mitchell already. They have a great like defensive structure with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Like James Harden. Like at that point, he would probably be. I mean, on some nights he could literally be your fifth option if you really if you really think about it. Um, but I just cannot get over the idea of LeBron playing with Steph Curry for a season, man. Like I just can't. I feel like that would be like peak basketball.
Yeah.
Like I don't
It
know,
would be
man.
really good.
We watched it in the Olympics for when they were out there in France in 2024. Like it was just like even though they were like the oldest two guys on the roster, they were literally still like the main guys driving the whole team. And I don't know, man. And like before LeBron made his announcement, like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave the Lakers," Draymond Green opted out of his player option, which was like $27 million, I think. And like, why would he opt out of $27 million if he doesn't know something about like LeBron's decision? Like, I thought that was very like telling, you know. And they're obviously very close. I'm pretty sure they're both represented by Clutch, like Rich Paul. So like, they obviously have a relationship. Like, and if they weren't, like, they've been playing against one another for how long? You know, they've competed in how many different finals. So I feel like it just, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's got to be. And he also said, LeBron said that this decision wasn't necessarily about money. It is more so about like happiness. And yes, I think he would be happy to go home to Cleveland and potentially bring another championship there. Like if he goes to Cleveland and wins a championship, that would be like, I don't know. That would be like GOAT status. Like I don't know. At that point, it would be hard to argue. But I mean, I don't know. I can't. I feel like he would also be pretty happy to play with like, his. I don't know if you want to say his nemesis
I
for
feel
like
like
the
it is like
majority of his
kind of his
career.
arch nemesis at this point, like after the battles and stuff they've had.
Yeah.
But I also saw they wanted to trade Anthony Davis, or he requested that Anthony Davis be traded to the Warriors before LeBron was to join. But I've been hearing that they don't know whether or not they're going to be able to make that trade because the Wizards envision Anthony Davis as part of their team, especially now that they got DeAndre Ayton. They're one of
Yeah.
the two of them with Sar. So I don't know. I feel like the Wizards are in a good spot to keep Anthony Davis right now. I wouldn't really want to break up what they have going, at least before they get to see it on the court.
I'm pretty sure I saw a report that said the Wizards have no interest in trading Anthony Davis.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it's probably going to come down to Cleveland and Golden State. Like I think it's like I can't see him going anywhere else. Like I know like you mentioned like Minnesota. I know the Nuggets have been like somewhat interested. I don't really see him going to Denver. Like I don't know. I think like yes. I mean it's LeBron James. Like be for real. He would fit anywhere with any team. So
I mean, LeBron and Jokic would be gross, but I do not see that guy going to
yeah,
Denver.
I can't see it either because I just don't really see that making sense. But yeah, man, it's whatever he goes, it's gonna be like the biggest story of the summer.
Yeah.
And but like you said, Spencer, I think the expectation it's gonna be. I mean, it's probably got to be like as high as it was when he first left Cleveland and went to Miami, where it's like if you don't win a title, because he's now like I don't think he's gonna go to a team that doesn't have like a chance to win a championship. And it's like, oh, you left the Lakers, you left Luka Doncic to go play with somebody else, so you better go win a title. So I think that even though he's going to be 42, the expectation is going to be like sky high again, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's really unreal. Even now, they still expect him to win something. But that's why he's the GOAT. Did they expect Michael Jordan to win a chip at 42, 41, 40? LeBron's got to be competing for a ring every season or he's buns.
That's what happens when you're the GOAT.
Facts.
Just what happens.
And I thought it was interesting. Before we move on to the next thing, I thought they said that LeBron's stint with the Lakers was like the longest period of time he was with one team, which is crazy. Like he obviously spent I think 11 total years in Cleveland, but he was in LA for 8 straight seasons, which is the longest he was ever with one team.
It's crazy. It feels gross, honestly.
It is gross, dude.
I remember I think we were all together when that notification came through and LeBron signed with the Lakers. That was a crazy day.
I think we were all together when AD got traded to the Lakers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild, man. And he's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again.
Dude, I hope I'm not like just at work when this guy LeBron signs somewhere. And I don't see it for like 45 minutes. I'm like, bro, guys on the Knicks. Like, what are we talking about? I'm trying to be locked in when this happens.
Yeah. Le GM. Another thing, real quick, I thought was funny was that Bronny's contract with the Lakers was like non-guaranteed up until whatever day before LeBron announced that he was leaving the Lakers. I thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, that's such a LeBron move.
Bag and then dipped.
Yeah.
So real Le GM.
He knew what he was doing the whole time.
The father.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I thought we were gonna get the news this weekend, honestly, of where he signed, but now it feels like it's gonna get dragged out a little bit. So we'll see.
They're probably waiting until the very last day of free agency.
Yeah,
because you know how many teams are gonna try to like impress and entice LeBron with their like off-season signings. He's probably just gonna sit back and wait and see who's got like the waviest squad for him to join.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Definitely will for sure.
Well, whenever that news happens, we'll discuss it. And the summer of LeBron once again.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, we did get a bunch of different trades that have sent shockwaves through the NBA. And even though there was some rumblings of this guy getting traded, it didn't really feel like, I don't know, part of me didn't feel like it was going to happen, and then especially didn't expect him to be traded to this particular team. And that's Jaylen Brown going to the 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I guess it's been 9 years with Tatum and Brown, and I feel like ever since they were together, there's always been this narrative of like whose team is it and who's the better player, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess it finally reached its breaking point, and they felt the need to move on from Jaylen Brown, which is wild after the season that he just had, and now it's simply Jason Tatum's team. But I don't know. I mean, I and there's also been a big conversation of like Jaylen Brown is this like terrible analytical player. Jeez. Like all of his like analytical metrics are like really poor, and they think that he's like one of the he's maybe not the worst player in the league, but average player, and not like this top five, top 10 player in the league. But I don't know, like Paul George, like really, like Paul George is that's the value you get. So I don't know. What do you guys, Spencer? What do you think? Do you think Boston got enough value in return for Jaylen Brown?
Honestly, I don't. I think they traded him too quickly. I think this is, to me, a trade that you make in season. Like once teams start to get more desperate and stuff, they know how talented of a player Jaylen Brown is. He just finished what, sixth in MVP voting last season. So people know that he's like one of the best two-way players in the NBA. They know his like talent level. So to me, like two first round picks and Paul George is like an okay haul. And I think the LaMelo Ball and Ja trades might have brought the market down for a player of his caliber as of late. But at the same time, I still think they could have gotten more for him had they not rushed. I got to go back and look, but I feel like I might have predicted this when we were talking about the Celtics and Jason Tatum's injury. I was like, what happens if Jaylen Brown goes out there and he has like an insane season, but then Tatum comes back and it kind of messes up the chemistry because Jaylen Brown just proved that he can run the team. Like it just makes all the rumblings that they had between is this Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum's team too loud. And at a certain point, they were going to have to pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows if Paul George can stay healthy? Like when he plays, you know, usually he's pretty good. Sometimes you get a little pandemic P game every once in a while. But you know, I still think he's a solid player, probably just below all-star level player at this point. Um, that 2028 first round pick probably isn't doing anything for the Celtics. Um, I feel like, they could have gotten way more back, especially from a team like Philly. Like, there's no way they couldn't have gotten any other player off of Philly's roster. Um, but I did see a story. I don't really know if it's a story or, just a statement, but there's been a lot of people who were saying that Jaylen Brown was like, he thought he was the smartest guy in the room. He thought he knew everything. It's either you listen to Jaylen Brown or you're wrong. Like, just kind of like, toxic vibe. Like, guy has one great season and now he thinks he's the best player in the league and he knows everything, can't do any wrong. So maybe it just got to a point where they were just like, all right, bro, like you got to get out of here.
Yeah. Building off that, I saw a clip where Jaylen Brown was talking about that. And I feel like he said, like, well, when talking about like athletes or something like that, like the bar isn't very high or something like that.
Yeah, that was funny.
But to me, like just even going back to the overall like Celtics team, I saw the Celtics said that Peyton Pritchard, they expect him to have a Jalen Brunson type leap this season, and I'm
I
like,
did
look,
see that.
I don't know. That's like a high bar as well. And then we already have seen Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum play together at a high level and obviously win a championship. So to me, bringing breaking that group up for something as unproven as like an aging Paul George and picks that may not match your timeline, especially if the Sixers are still good, I don't see how that helps them right now or looking forward towards the future.
Yeah, I think I agree with both you guys. As a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further and I'll say that I think the Celtics got rid of their best player. I think I think Jaylen Brown was their best player. I've always been high on him. as much as I know how much of a bucket Jason Tatum is because he always torches the Nets. Um, I mean, this guy is the Finals MVP, like, uh, in MVP conversations last year, and then all he really get for him is Paul George, a couple picks. Like, I don't think this was a great move for the Celtics. I think, like Spencer said, I think they could have just waited and probably get a lot more. And I heard some anonymous like NBA exec or GM, and he said the same exact thing. He said if the Celtics waited, they could have gotten a lot more in return for Brown. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Seems like a little desperate to get rid of him. Um, and especially to your rival down south. You guys are going to be playing a lot throughout the year. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's the greatest move for the Celtics. I think they're going to really end up regretting it. I think their roster is going to be worse next year because of it. And I don't consider them, a contender. I'll be honest with you. I don't consider them a contender next year for the championship without Jaylen Brown. So, not a fan of the move. I am a fan of it from the 76ers perspective. I think, that couldn't have worked out more perfectly for them. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up going.
Yeah.
That's
Do you think a Jason Tatum led season without Jaylen Brown ending up worse than last season's Celtics team creates like more division within the team of like the way that they committed?
that's
Yeah.
a good, yeah. That's definitely a good question. Like I think, and that's exactly like even though you finally got rid of the guy that they've like been saying like, oh, whose team is it? Whose team is it? Now
Yeah.
the expectation is okay, we have to be better. And
Mhm.
if we're not better, then we're gonna be like, oh, it was always Jaylen Brown's. Like he was the reason why we were so good,
Mhm.
which is you can say that
A
if you
whole
want. I
other
don't
can
know
of worms.
I mean,
exactly. So
he
yeah,
won the Finals MVP, right? That year they
yeah,
won the Finals.
yeah, he did.
Was Jason Tatum injured during that time?
No,
No.
they were both healthy.
I think he
Yeah,
got the Western Conference Finals player
Eastern
award
Conference
too.
player.
Eastern
Yeah,
Conference player award too. Excuse me.
yeah. But no, what Toby said, I think, is my biggest thing. Like, okay, maybe if actually did get to a point of like Jaylen Brown just simply cannot be in this locker room anymore, and like there's too much chaos and too much outside noise, and it's just becoming a problem for the team. But why are you trading him to Philly? Like,
Right.
even if Philly was terrible, that's another thing. Like, but that's the thing. Philly has a great team now with Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, who was really good last year, and like, say what you want about Joel Embiid. Maybe he's there, maybe he's not, but like, I don't know. Like, as your fourth option, maybe next year. I mean, that's crazy. And the team that just beat you in the playoffs, that you blew a 3-1 lead to, and that you have to see 4 times a year. I just think that's the craziest part to me. It's like Jaylen Brown is clearly a guy that feels slighted by, people talking down on him.
Mm.
And now you have to go and play against him more than any other team in the league. And I don't know. I just think that's going to be, those are going to be games to watch for sure during the regular season and potentially in the playoffs. But,
I
yeah,
mean,
man.
dude, it turns I would say it turns Philly into like top 3 team in the East, bro. Like you said, Maxey, Edgecombe, Maxey's gonna have all NBA type season. Edgecomb's about to be close to being an all-star. And who knows what's going on with Embiid? Like nobody ever has a clue what's going on with this guy. But I feel like, Paul George is a good player, but Jaylen Brown is going to do what Paul George did, plus more to kind of cover up when they are missing Embiid. And they made it to the second round of the playoffs last season. So, I mean, dude,
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared.
No, that team is loaded. I cannot believe they didn't get one of like the Sixers core players back in that trade. You're giving up a guy who's arguably the best player on your team for an aging player who, like, I guess he's like they have similar skill sets, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you just have so much more upside with Jaylen Brown than you do with Paul George right now. And you have guys like VJ Edgecombe and even Embiid or Tyrese Maxey. Like you would want one of those guys back up, consistent all-star at this point going forward in a trade like that.
And I really think like I mentioned earlier like the analytics. I've been reading like a lot of articles about like, and I'm starting to get like confused. I'm like, do I think Jaylen Brown is a good player? Like, because people really talk about him like he's like like 100th best player in the league. Like, it's crazy. And I don't know. Like, one thing I'll say is that all these like analytical numbers they never take into account like defense. That's one thing. Like, I mean, yeah, when you talk about like on off numbers or whatever, like plus minus, like sure, like you can factor in like how well they're playing on the defensive end of the floor, but like a lot of the times it's like, oh, they're this many points better when Jaylen Brown is playing, but they're so like sure, like but I feel like you have to factor in the fact that he's literally one of the best defenders in the NBA, at least like wing defenders. But I don't know, like I've always viewed Jaylen Brown as like a great player. Like sure he can like chuck a couple. He can be like a little inefficient, or like people say he doesn't have a left hand or something. But I don't know. Like I've never really viewed him as like a anything less than an all star to me. And he also has like a great mentality. I feel like he plays all the time. Um, I don't know. Like I just I can't. I don't think you can justify them trading for Paul George. I just don't. I don't. And it's not like Paul George is making like less money or something, Like Paul George
Yeah.
is on a ridiculous contract. The
Yeah.
same with Jaylen Brown. So, and he's 5 years, 6 years older. I don't know. But you even said it, Justin. You think that this makes the Sixers a top three team in the East? I would probably say I agree. Who do you think your top three teams in the East are, Justin? I
The
think I
Knicks, obviously. And this is
yeah.
in no order, just the Knicks, the Sixers, and then probably Cleveland, I would say. I feel like I feel like the Pistons are gonna have a little bit of a fall off, especially with this Jalen Duren thing that's going on. And from, what I can remember at this moment, I don't really remember them making a single signing this offseason.
Didn't they get Isaiah Joe?
Yeah, I think they traded for him from OKC.
Yeah, but I don't think they made any like
It's not yeah, it's not.
insane splashes.
I just feel like they haven't improved the roster at all, and I feel like teams are kind of figuring them out. Like I've been saying it all last season. I was saying it that they're too Cade Cunningham like heavy. Like they rely on him to do too much. I feel like they don't have as many, you know, ball handlers as you would like them to have. Like I feel like Cade is initiating almost all of the offense, and just I don't know, that whole thing with the Jalen Duren contract, I feel like it might ruffle some feathers.
They did get John Collins. I did forget about that.
They did get John
They
Collins.
did. That's a nice pickup.
But
Okay, yeah,
I
that
still
is nice.
don't. I'm
But
not gonna lie. I don't think that's like
that doesn't do anything.
No,
a
I don't think
huge
that's going to
needle
change their
mover
lives, but I do think that's a nice signing.
because they're essentially replacing Tobias Harris with him, which is like
Didn't they also
kind of the same
lose
thing.
um Beef Stew? Didn't he go to the
Yeah,
Grizzlies?
he's on the
Yeah.
Grizzlies now.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
I don't know what the Grizzlies are building anymore.
I would say in order, I think the Knicks are going to be the one seed. Like I think we're just going to be
Okay.
tearing it up this year. Even with the loss of Mitchell Robinson, we were talking about it before the show, Jorie, picking up Andre Drummond, like that's
Yeah.
just a poor man's Mitchell Robinson. You're not going to
He
get
can
as much
shoot threes
defense,
too.
huh?
I said, but he can shoot threes now too.
Yeah, he can shoot threes now. Yeah,
So
I
like,
forgot
nah,
about
that
that.
that might actually be nice.
Yeah, no, he's not going to give you the same defense that Mitchell Robinson gives you.
Yeah,
But the
but still great.
rebounding is the
Yeah.
big key.
But yeah, either way, let me stop talking about the Knicks real quick. We're on the Sixers. I think it's going to be the Knicks, Cleveland, and then, dude, Philly might slide in there at the three spot out east.
I can see that. I think if LeBron goes to Cleveland, that would definitely catapult them to like maybe honestly maybe the best team in the East. I don't
Yeah,
know. We'll
maybe.
see.
Yeah.
Does
But a
LeBron
sneaky
join the?
team, and I know you talked about them last year, Spencer, and they honestly they were close to like breaking through, but the
Mhm.
Magic,
Yeah,
I think this is the year that they're gonna finally go take another leap because they
I need Franz to stay healthy though.
exactly if they can just stay healthy because they also did just get a new head coach, Sean
Yeah,
Sweeney, who was I think the lead assistant head coach or lead assistant on the Spurs this past season, who a lot of people cited as like the reason why they're. I mean, they have Victor Wembanyama, but everyone's like he's like the defensive coordinator basically for that team. And I mean, I think Orlando was already a good defensive team, but I mean, now you have a guy who just got to the finals with a super young team. I feel like Orlando, if they can stay healthy, that's the biggest key. They
yeah.
could be pretty good because I mean, they took the Pistons to 7 games. You know, they almost beat them.
Yeah. But
Yeah, good team.
speaking of the Magic, you know who kind of reminds me of what all these analytical people are saying about Jaylen Brown, how he's a pretty average guy. I kind of feel the same way about Paolo Banchero, bro. That might be a hot take, but I feel like Paolo is a very inefficient player. Like that guy just he thinks he's like Carmelo Anthony. He's always shooting mid-range shots, like post fades, and it's just not working. And I feel like, he can shoot the three, but he's not the greatest shooter. I feel like to me, Paolo Banchero might be overrated. I don't really know how other people feel about him, but I know you like him a lot, Jory. I know you, at least you used to like Paolo a
Yeah,
lot. So
I know. No,
I
I
think,
understand. What,
I
yeah,
think sometimes he does settle for jump shots instead of remembering he's like 6'10", like 270 or
exactly.
something.
yeah,
Where it's like, bro, like if you just go to the rim, like who's stopping you? Like you're literally insane. But yeah, I think hopefully I'm hoping the new coaching can like kind of clean up his shot selection a little bit because I think he's good enough to be like the guy of that team. I just think sometimes his shot selection is a little questionable and he kind of plays into the defense's hands by settling for jumpers that he could just drive to the rim and get a bucket for.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good playoffs. I thought this past season in that series against Detroit, but yeah, no, I think it's definitely like it's exactly what you said, Spencer. It's like this guy just forgets that he's built like freaking Amari Stoudemire, but then he acts like he's Tracy McGrady or something. Like, I don't know. Like it's just yeah, I don't know. But um, yeah, they could be good. They could be good. But another team that I guess just slipped my mind, even though we're going to talk about them, the Toronto Raptors, especially with this guy back in town, which
Yeah.
I did not expect. I
The
did not
fun
expect.
guy.
This is exactly a fun guy. Um, yeah,
Everybody's
I mean,
going.
we talked so much about homecomings, even though it really wasn't much of a home for Kawhi. He was only there for 1 year, but he did say that he wants to now retire a Raptor, and
Mhm.
that's after the Clippers. After 7 years in LA, he's going back to Toronto, and they traded Kawhi for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and unprotected first round picks in 2031 and 2033, 2027 first round pick swap, and 2 second round picks. So, pretty good haul for the Clippers, I think. But
Yeah, I was just gonna say I like what the Clippers are building. They got Darius Garland, they got Brandon Ingram. Um, don't they have what's his name that they just got from the Pacers recently? Ben Mathurin.
Catherine.
Ben
Yeah,
Mathurin, they drafted Keaton Wagler, fifth
yeah.
overall.
This
Yeah, they
team
got a
is
good
coming
young
together.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got some nice pieces.
but yeah, the Clippers will definitely be interesting next year, especially with Ty Lue. I feel like he always does well. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like this makes the Raptors very interesting. Obviously, different than what their 2019 team was. where it felt like that team was kind of like knocking on the door, but then kept losing to LeBron every year. Um, they had an older Kyle Lowry. They had Danny Green. I think Pascal Siakam was on that team. Marcus Gasol. So they had like a somewhat of an older, more experienced team, whereas this team is Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, and they just got to the playoffs kind of as a team for the first time last year. But now you bring in a freaking cyborg who, you know, just turns on in the playoffs and looks like he could be still the best player in the league sometimes when he's really locked in. But I don't know. What do you guys like rank this Toronto team now with Kawhi in town? Toby, you can start.
I think they could I think they could break top four in the East. Personally, I feel like, and I Justin won't agree with this, but I think the Knicks are going to have a little championship hangover where they might start off a little bit slow, and then that might impact their seeding at the end of the year. Um, but yeah, I really like the Raptors going into this season. I think they have a really good young team. Um, I think they're gonna probably have to figure out who's gonna be the number two scoring guy and number three between Barnes and Barrett. Um, but yeah, I think they're on the up. I think you know nobody expect. I remember in 2019, nobody expected that Raptors team to go to the finals and win against the Warriors, but maybe it's a similar kind of situation on this team. But I like it. Um, Obviously, I like it for Kawhi going back to, I guess, his home or wherever he wants to retire at. Um, yeah, I mean, guy's a leader. He knows what it takes to win a championship. He's won one there. So, um, I don't know how much better it makes the Raptors, to be 100% honest with you, if they just, kept Ingram. Uh, but yeah, I like I like it. I like it for all parties included. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. I do. I know Spencer said this the other day, but the Clippers are pretty wavy now. The Clippers are a pretty wavy team now. I've always liked Darius Garland. Brandon Ingram in LA, it just like I don't know, that just fits. Uh, Benedict Mathurin, he's whatever, I guess.
Nah, he's tough.
But I don't know. I Yeah, I guess it is a pretty solid trade for both sides. I feel like this Raptors team, at least like star talent, is better than the team in 2019. But I think the East is just too stacked, bro. The East is too stacked, and Kawhi's an old man. Like I know he's a cyborg, like you said, Jorie, but I think those parts are getting rusty, dude.
I think the Raptors are good. I think this trade makes them better right now than they were before the trade. But I'm like you guys. I don't know that they have enough to win right now, especially the way that the West or the East is looking right now. Like I do think the team is better, but like is Emmanuel quickly like a championship level point guard? Like not to
Fair.
like just dump on that guy, but I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
just
he's
feel like most of the guards, especially in the East right now, outside of like Brunson, are like really, really tall, like difficult matchups for what I imagine their team would probably be looking at. But I mean, I guess that's why they have Kawhi and Scotty to just like clean everything up, especially with RJ. So I mean, maybe they'll surprise me.
Shout out to RJ Barrett, Knicks legend.
Oh my
Yeah, we'll see
gosh.
what happens. It should definitely be interesting though. You guys see Kyle Lowry just retired though?
I did
No.
see that, yeah. Shout out Kyle Lowry, man.
Bags, dude.
Oh man.
Another
Um
Grizzly savage.
yeah. Um I think yeah, like I said, and it's probably been noted on this podcast before, but I'm a huge Kawhi guy. Always been, always will be. I feel like when he's healthy and playing, and I think I've said this before. Yes, he's dealt with injuries his whole career, and he's very inconsistent. and it feels like he can never play like a full season. But it always feels like when he's on the court, regardless of like how much time he misses, he's always productive and he's always at the same level. You know, like he's always like peak Kawhi. It feels like, which is very impressive to me. Um, yes, I don't know. I can't say exactly where I think this is gonna slot the Raptors in. I think they'll be a better team because I think just one for one, I feel like Kawhi is a better player than Brandon Ingram. But like you said, Spencer, like long term, it's probably not the best move. But I mean, if you have a with the same line of thinking of like what the Raptors did in 2019, like if you can somehow win a championship with this guy, it'll all be worth it. So, but I like the aggressiveness of the team, like going after somebody like Kawhi. I feel like that makes sense. Like you finally broke through as a playoff team, and you have like a young star in Scotty Barnes, and now you have like this veteran player who's been through it all, and can kind of take the load off of Scotty a little bit during the playoffs and everything. So I don't know. I think they're going to be a really competitive team. I do.
Dude, the Scotty Barnes and Kawhi Leonard like personality duo is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you got one guy who's like super nonchalant, never talks, and then the other guy who's just like a goofball. That will be funny. I hope he brings out. I hope Kawhi. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he'll ever like really open up and be like just a funny guy.
what do you
But
mean? He is a fun guy.
well, yeah. But like you know what I mean. Like I hope he's more expressive now because he's like, all right, this is probably like the last portion of my career. You know, like have a little fun. You know,
Yeah,
just like
it would
just
be
let
cool to see
loose.
him be a little bit more like loose with the media, maybe since it's the last couple seasons.
Yeah,
But
like
at the
yeah.
same time, I feel like that guy's not going to say anything, and he's just going to fall off the map once he retires. Like we're
Oh,
never going to see
100%.
Kawhi again, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he's just going to show up one day for his like Hall of Fame ceremony, and we're just going to be like, "Dang, where's this dude been at?"
Literally. Um, yeah, man. The
What a
East,
guy.
it's the East is really gearing up. For so many years, everybody said that the West is the better conference, but I feel like next season the East is going to be a dogfight with all these teams, especially if LeBron goes out east, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, well, I I wanted to save this for last. I didn't know if I should have done this last or first, but you know, Spencer Woods. It happened. It finally happened. Ja
Yeah.
Morant, and you literally said it on the last podcast too, which what I thought was funny. You're like, if Ja gets traded for a bag of chips, and then you went on to talk about like Cameron Boozer and whatever, and then we get the notification that the Ja Morant era is finally over in Memphis as they traded him for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. No picks, just those two players. And that's it. He's off to Portland to play with Damian Lillard, Benny Avdia, that whole team. But Spence, I'll let you take it away. What do you have to say about the end of this era with everyone? John Morant, Desmond Bain, etc.
I have to say that like growing up, like, watching sports, not even just like basketball, like when I was a Giants fan, I was I used to think that Dave Gettleman getting rid of Odell was like the worst thing that would probably ever happen to me as like a sports fan. This guy Zach Lehman has really just taken it to a whole nother level. Like this is like seriously maybe the worst trade I've ever seen in my life. Why would you trade for Chris Murray? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, what are you expecting from him as like a player? And like, not to just like rip on that guy because like I'm sure he's great, but like, I, what? Like, how is like we're talking about like a multi-time like all-star caliber player, like a franchise player caliber player, and we're trading him for an aging Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. That like you look at the Trailblazers, like you look at how many guards are on that team. They have Scoot Henderson, who's like young and pretty good. Like they still have Damian Lillard, and it's like you're trading your franchise cornerstone guard to a team with a literal legion of great guards, and you don't get any of them back. but we get Chris Murray, we get Jeremy Grant. It's just like, what are you talking about? And then they traded Santi Aldama the next day, bro. Like you can't make it up. I was literally telling you guys, I was like hyped for like at least I could hang my hat on like the Santi Aldama franchise player era. We don't even get that. I'm not even gonna get to see Santi anymore. The entire team, everybody that was ever nice in the history of the Grizzlies is just gone now. I was reminiscing watching the like 2022, 2023 Grizzlies, thinking about how live that team was with Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, Jaren, Tyus Jones. Like, we're really never gonna get that back. What a fantastic team. End of the era. Nah, this one hurts.
Well, hold that elbow, Bozo.
I mean, yeah. I mean, shout out to Ja. Hopefully he keeps on cooking on the Trailblazers. Hopefully Santi and Jaren keep cooking on the Mavs and the Jazz too. But and obviously, shout out to Desmond Bane on the Magic.
They're all
Are you,
bums.
are you? I mean,
This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, Jorie.
are you rooting for Ja? Are you rooting for him to succeed in Portland, or do you
I mean,
not?
yeah, I'm always gonna want that guy to do great. Like anybody that's ever gotten drafted to the Grizzlies, like I'm rooting for them their whole careers. Like Jake LaRavia is on the Lakers now, bro. Like if I see a random Lakers game, like I'm rooting for that guy to go off.
What about Mike Conley on the Celtics? Are you rooting for him still?
Yeah, yeah. I hope Mike Conley has the greatest game every single game that he ever plays. I don't want the Celtics to win, but like if Mike Conley can have 20 and 10, like dang near whoever they're playing, I don't even care. Like, let's
You're a
go.
better man than me because I'm low key praying on Mitchell Robinson's downfall.
Yeah, what a scumbag. But I mean,
If he ever moves on from the Celtics, it's going to be right back to let's go Mitchell Robinson. But I can't support him on the Celtics, bro.
I don't
Like
know.
RJ
Maybe
Barrett to the Raptors, I don't care about. Julius Randle, now that he's on the Nets, I'm praying on his downfall. But
I don't know, dude. I just see the Grizzlies as just like a player farm where like people get drafted, they end up being great role players, and then the Grizzlies don't pay them and they leave and go somewhere
well,
else. So
how does it feel knowing that basically the whole rest of the league kind of like strong armed you into getting rid of that guy Ja for so low, such little trade value? Like,
I don't think the league strong armed anybody. I
I
think Brad
mean,
Kleeman and I think the owner of that team, they did it to themselves. Just because you see like Dylan Brooks, shout out to Dylan Brooks, shout out to the Suns. Just because you see Dylan Brooks is like going at LeBron, which like I don't know why that's like a bad thing. Everybody else in the league is like so afraid of LeBron and stuff like that. And the fans are literally begging every single day for somebody to not be so buddy buddy and all this other stuff. But then you get a guy that's doing that, and then you scapegoat him and say it's his fault the whole entire team lost. Like, sorry, you have a guy on the team that's willing to be competitive and not just like glaze LeBron when he's not on their team.
nah, nah. You can't
Like,
hate on the king. You can't hate on the GOAT.
no, like I would understand it. Like I'm a big LeBron fan, but like at the same time, like I'm not on the court with the dude. Like if I was actually on the court with LeBron, even if I knew that guy was giving me 120 and 50, like what are we talking about? Like compete. Like why are you mad at your player for like wanting to compete? That's like it's literally professional sports. Like there's
Yeah.
bigger fish to fry.
But like you said, Jory, I think it was Jory. Um, I don't know, dude. Portland's in a unique spot here, low key. Uh, like four starting caliber point guards. They have Ja Morant, Drew Holiday, Scoot Henderson, Damian Lillard.
Forgot they had Drew. Like, why would you trade them? Like, how do you not get a guard? What are we talking about?
This guy is mad, bro.
I mean, am I wrong though? How does a team have that many guards and you get Chris Murray and freaking Jeremy Grant? Like, what is that gonna do for the team?
Well, at least for Portland, could there be a trade coming to get rid of one of those guys? Do you think so, Toby?
Probably.
I think Scoot's gonna be on his way out soon.
Nah. Scoot.
And Shaden Sharp, that's like they're gonna have to keep Shaden Sharp. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. But I don't know. Maybe Drew Holiday, if they're not a competitive team, maybe some some contenders going to want to get a really good defender. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see another trade or two from the Trailblazers.
Yeah, shout out to the Trailblazers, one of the greatest heists in NBA history.
Well, that's my thing. It's like this is like the ultimate. I mean, there's definitely been like buy low trades on players, and there's a reason why like their value is so low. But like this is like the ultimate buy low. If somehow Ja gets back to like, I mean, I don't think he's gonna get back to like all NBA Ja.
Why does
I don't
everybody
know.
think he's a bum now?
I
Like,
mean,
literally,
I don't
like
think.
what happened? Literally, what happened that actually made him worse? He's coming off what, like a shoulder injury? Like he's
Well, yeah,
literally gonna
he's
be
he's been
nice.
hurt. Like I
He's
feel like
literally
that.
gonna be fine. Like people act like he's not gonna still be able to get to the lane at will and get buckets on anybody he wants to. Like I would have rather kept Ja and literally just been the worst team in the whole NBA than just give him away for nothing. Like low key, I think I would have rather him just left in free agency. At least then he can pick where he wants to go. Like trading a guy for literally nothing back doesn't make other people want to go to the Grizzlies either. They're just gonna be like, dang, like we might just get shipped off to literally anywhere, even if it makes no sense. Because like it doesn't make sense for Ja to be on a team with that many guards. And then you didn't get any guards back. So I don't know why you traded him there like on your end either. Like I have no idea what the Grizzlies are building. I don't know what their goal is in blowing up this team. Literally, they had one of the youngest teams in the entire NBA in the 2022-2023 season. They're the second seed in the whole NBA. And they said, screw that. Let's blow it up and start from ground zero. Why? Like, I don't know if that's ever going to make sense to me.
I don't. I think it's just with me, like it's hard for a player to really reach their peak, performance when it's so inconsistent. Like I don't know if he's gonna get suspended again or anything like that. But like he has dealt with injuries a lot the past couple of years, and I feel like because of that, he hasn't been able to like rack up, a consistent level of play to where he can get back to where he was a couple of years ago. But if he does, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I think for me, like I'm just comparing it to like LaMelo Ball getting sent to the Timberwolves. LaMelo Ball has been injured his entire career, like literally his entire career. I don't think he's ever had seasons as healthy as Ja has had at his absolute peak. But like when LaMelo goes to the Timberwolves, nobody says that guy's washed. He's never going to be the same player he was on the Hornets. It's just him and Ant are going to be sick to see. But then Ja goes to the Trailblazers and he's washed. He's this washed bum who's never going to get back to the level he was at before. I feel like that, like people are just hating on him. Like people are just hating on Ja specifically and not actually thinking about basketball. If
Ja-
LaMelo Ball has any chance of coming back and being the same type of player, so does Ja.
No, Ja
Ja's
Morant
literally
is
better
good.
than LaMelo.
No,
I think
Okay.
it's also recency bias. Like Ja only played like 20 games last year, I think. So like, you know,
Nah.
I think that factors into it.
Everybody's about to see.
I mean,
Even
I'm not
with
saying you're wrong,
even
but
with a literal classroom full of like guards on that freaking Timber or Trailblazers team, Ja is still gonna be the best guard on that team. He's gonna outplay Dame, and he's gonna be better than LaMelo
okay,
Ball.
well, let's be honest. Like, 36-year-old
I
Damian
don't care.
Lillard
Like
coming off an
anybody else on
Achilles
that
injury,
team, bro.
that's not the highest bar. And then there's like Drew Holiday, who's also like 36.
We're not worried about any of them. It's Ja's team.
It's not. It's literally. It's Denny of Dia's team. Probably.
No.
We'll see.
Diddy's on the in the hot seat now. He's gonna have to cook to keep this team out of Ja's cold
Oh
dead
my
hands.
gosh.
Ja's taking all that.
I'll be interested to see. I mean, if they start Ja and Dame,
That
it's
would
gonna be a lot
such
of
sick team.
Ole defense out there in Portland. Traffic cone defense. I'll say
Nah,
that.
nah.
But
Don't
they'll
they
be a
have,
fun team.
Uh,
They have Tumani Kamara, who's a
yes,
really good
that's exactly
defender,
what I was thinking of. They still have that guy. That guy's gonna
And-
clamp up.
and Donovan Clingan is massive. He's a really good like
They
rim
still
protector,
have
shot
Yang
blocker.
Hansen off the bench too.
Yeah. So
Shout
like
out
they
to
have,
Yang.
Drew Holiday can come in play defense, obviously.
They still
So
have
they'll be
Robert
interesting.
Williams too.
But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. But like you said, or like we said, it's officially over. It is officially the Cameron Boozer era in Memphis.
Yeah. What a sad time.
You
He had
should
a
be
pretty good
excited.
summer,
Cam
didn't
Boozer
he?
though. I was also thinking about this after last episode. Cam Boozer is in the worst spot out of every single top pick in this draft. Like, and kind of in like a weird way too, because it's like you look at AJ DeMansa going to the Wizards, you look at Darren Peterson going to the Jazz, and like normally you would expect the first two picks in the draft to be going to teams that are just like absolutely abysmal and terrible. But both those teams are like far and above way better than the Grizzlies. Like Cam Boozer really got absolutely messed up by going third to the worst team.
Well, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe he just has full reign to do whatever he wants.
I
They're,
mean, I'm
they
hoping
have
it
no
works out for 'em.
expectations.
I feel like the expectations are higher because there's nobody else on the team. We have no all stars. We have nobody like proven.
Spencer, looking from the outside in, like my expectations for your team is very, very low.
I'm expecting 25 wins.
That's a nice way to say your team is gonna suck.
No, this team is terrible. It's the worst team in the NBA. I think I'm expecting like 25, maybe 30 wins. Like anything over that, I'd be like, man, maybe Cam Boozer is a future superstar.
I think that's really the silver lining of the whole season is like Cameron Boozer's development and hope that he demonstrates why he's, in my opinion, the best player in the draft. But will be interesting.
I'm hoping it works out. I don't like the haul they got back for Santi Aldama either, though.
We went to Dallas, right? The Mavericks.
Yeah, he went to the Mavericks.
Okay, interesting pick up for them.
Yeah, they traded him. They did get AJ Johnson back, which is kind of a dub, but I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just have Santi than AJ Johnson in a 2030 first. But shout out to Santi. Hopefully that guy balls out. Let's get it, AJ Johnson. Maybe that guy will turn into somebody insane. And this is when I still like, I don't know. Like if this team was getting coached by Taylor Jenkins, maybe I wouldn't be so mad. Maybe I'd be like, you know what, I believe in them. But I don't know.
That guy was a terrible coach.
Tomas Lasalo, I don't know about that guy. But I really don't.
Well, it'll be interesting. He'll be on the hot seat this year, probably. Well, maybe not, because there's, like Toby said, no expectations.
I have expectations, and that guy needs to. No, let me stop. Let me stop just hating.
I'm expecting 15 wins out of the Grizzlies.
Same ballpark as me.
Yeah. Well, sorry it had to be you, Woods, but it's gotta happen to everybody eventually.
Yeah, Toby's been through it. You'll be all right.
This never should happen. Nah, the Nets are still in a worse spot. You guys had 5 firsts last year, and you didn't do nothing.
I'm not worried about last year. I'm worried about this year. And we're a better team this year.
Julius
Okay.
Randle.
We're like dubious handle. Nah, shout out to the Nets, man. That should be a fun team.
Team's gonna be terrible.
It's going to be a movie all year.
This guy Justin sees one ring, and now all of a sudden he thinks he can talk about every other team.
Hey, man.
You'll be coming back down to reality soon.
No.
Facts.
This guy's been seeing
reality.
nothing but fat capital L's his entire life outside of this season, and now he's thinking things are sweet. We'll be seeing.
The reality is, Woods, that the Knicks are going back to back.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have to wait another like 53 years.
Yeah, right.
Especially when we get LeBron back to back, bro. Like Drake.
LeBron's probably going to the Sixers before he goes to the Knicks.
Nah.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll find out where LeBron goes hopefully this week, and We'll talk about it.
When is the last day of free agency?
Let's see. Last day of NBA free agency is searching. Gotta love it. I guess it says it doesn't have a single designated day of when free agency will like close or per se. But I guess July 6th, which is tomorrow, is when like all these deals that have been made can become official, quote unquote. So like, that's why it always says like if you ever read reports, it'd be like these two teams have agreed to trade, not necessarily have traded.
I get you.
So it could happen tomorrow, maybe. We'll see, but it could be.
Either way, if he does come to New York, this is the real king of New York right there.
Oh my gosh.
That's a Brunson, man.
But yeah, well, this was fun. Another episode. Also, I wanted to mention that we have 99 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
One away from 100. So whoever wants to be that 100th subscriber.
$1,000 giveaway.
Okay, and that'll be it.
We're going to the deck. No.
Yeah, we'll give you free tickets to the NBA Finals next season.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
but yeah, shout out to all of our subscribers that have been tuning in. We appreciate you.
100th subscriber gets a meet and greet with Toby.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, it's been fun. Looking forward to the rest of the summer with everything that's going on, and yeah, it should be a fun season when we get back to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this season though. I don't even know why. Grizzlies have yanked my heart out and spat on it, but
You can switch over and be a Knicks fan again.
nah. You mean again?
Again.
You mean again? That's never a thing. Maybe I switch back over and be a Nets fan.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Go from one team of pure heartache to another.
We're on the up though.
Why don't you switch it up? You don't need to be a Nuggets fan.
Oh,
I'm never switching it up. I don't care if the Nets move to Mexico. I'm still gonna be a Nets fan.
You're a better man than me, Toby. If I saw the New Jersey Nets go to Brooklyn and then Mexico, like at some point I gotta draw the line and say this team does not care about me as a fan.
Mexico Nets.
Like
Imagine.
What?
That'd be funny.
That would be kind of fun.
Well, yeah, good stuff. Good episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll talk to you next time.
Yep.
But until then,
Yeah.
peace.